Media. As consumers, we are bombarded by it at every turn, like the Incredible Hulk being bombarded by gamma rays. But what makes some media endure, while others are banished to the forgotten black hole of obscurity, never to be heard from again? Who or what decides this? Hetero life mates Steve and Yahel want to know, and they want to know now. This is Obscurity Now. All right, welcome to the first ever episode of Obscurity Now. My name is Steve, and with me is my hetero life mate. Say your name.
Oh, sorry, I was still listening to the. I was still had like the audio coming in from Twitch, and I was getting all. Anyways, my name is Yahel. I've used the computer before.
You were getting pumped, is what you were going to say, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's the whole point of that opening, and of course to tell people what this show is about. And for some reason you slept through the opening, the whole point of this podcast is for Yahel and I to talk about weird and obscure media of the past and media of the present, which will probably become obscure at some point in the future.
That is what happens.
Yeah, so wow, I'm excited. Let's go ahead and toast to our maiden voyage of Obscurity Now. I've got a high quality PBR here.
Wow, Steve, pretty classy.
I mean,
no expense.
Hey, that's how we used to do it in Tampa, right?
I've got something called Terrapin Hopsecutioner IPA.
That's some fruity beer, is what it is.
Yeah,
all right, here. Cheers, and to our one person in the chat. I don't even know if she's still there or not. But
not.
But yeah, she came around when we were teching things, so I don't blame her if she left. So yeah, how you doing?
Pretty good. Just been working on stuff for my channel and working at my real job, and that's pretty much it. How are you?
I'm doing great. Also working on projects as well, which we will get to in the end, and of course, taking care of my young prince. But no one wants to hear about that. So why don't we talk about some of the future obscure stuff with a little segment we like to call Hot Topics.
Hot topic. Not cold, not warm, but hot topic.
All right. So yeah, this is the segment where we basically talk about some new, whatever hot like news bits are going on in the world of media. And there really isn't a whole lot other than,
I think hot news bits is a professional journalistic term.
Also. That's what this show is all about. For our first story, the first image, this is not a...
I have not seen this.
This is some serious stuff here. The first images of Knuckles and Tails for the new Sonic movie has been released. And there it is, right there on your screen. Apparently, they actually made, I guess, what would be a life-size replica of Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles in order for the actors to to play off them. That's how Shakespeare would have done it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So
the original Othello was done, I believe.
When they had the ghosts, they just made actual ghosts out of sheets and stuff.
Vinyl, I believe.
Did they have vinyl back then? I don't know.
No, that's where the comedy comes in.
Right. So my question to you is, Yahel, what do you think about the first Sonic movie? Are you excited for the new Sonic movie?
The first Sonic movie was actually the last movie I watched in theaters before the pandemic.
Me too.
I think it was yours too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't super crazy about it, but I guess I'm probably not the target audience.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really too excited about the new one. I don't think I'll be watching it in theaters. I can't have Sonic be the last movie I watched before any major events again. So, I mean, I don't know. I'll watch it when it comes on some streaming service probably, but Yeah, I'm not excited about it. I wasn't too crazy about the first one. What about you?
I was pleasantly surprised with the first one. I mean,
Really?
yeah. I mean, my friend and I, another full-grown adult male, we went and saw it in the theater, as Yahel said, and we were just gonna go in there and make fun of it, but it kind of makes fun of itself. It's got a pretty good self-aware sense of humor, and really what sold it for me was Jim Carrey acting like he used to in the 90's. I mean that. If he wasn't there, I probably wouldn't have as many good things to say about it. But
That's fair. It's probably one of his better performances in the last like decade or so.
well, he's been busy like trying to do like, I don't know, weird dramas and heart melting dramas. That's just not what the people want to see from one Jim Carrey. They want to see, excuse me.
Right.
Well, they just want Ace Ventura back. Unless of course you're too young to know who Ace Ventura is, which in that case, I just feel bad for you, kid. I really do.
That movie does not hold up well.
Ace Ventura? I don't. I mean, you gotta give it a. I mean, have you watched it lately? I still laugh at it. Or are you talking about the politics involved?
No, not the politics or anything like that or any PC stuff. I mean, I just don't think it's like funny. But excuse me, I liked the movie when it came out when it was in theaters, but I wasn't like super. I didn't think it was like as funny as some other people did.
What I'm just curious. What does one Yahel Velasquez think as like a funny movie? What's your idea of like if someone asks you what's your favorite comedy? What do you say?
I don't think I have a favorite comedy that was meant to be a comedy. Mm-hmm. But like one of the last few movies that like was supposed to be a comedy that I really enjoyed, it was The Invention of Lying by Ricky Gervais. Just like it was like, yeah, okay. Where it's like takes place in a universe where like nobody has ever lied before, so everyone tells the truth no matter what, and just one guy comes up with the invention of lying, and it's just really really funny how literal everybody takes everything. So yeah. I like that, but like I don't know, like I feel like Ace Ventura now when I watched it like a few years ago, it was like, wow, this would work as an SNL skit, but like 90 minutes of it, I'm like,
You were in a living color sketch?
Anything, any kind of skit except Mad TV.
All right. So dry British humor is what you're saying. I mean, which I appreciate that stuff as well. I'm now intrigued. I missed out on that movie, which I'll watch anything with Ricky Gervais in it. So anyway, moving on to our next story, and this is real important stuff. It's Mortal Kombat. The new Mortal Kombat movie. I guess we should just call it a remake because that's what it is. It had an opening day of $9 million of a $55 million budget. And it keeps floating up in my Facebook that the guy who plays Sub-Zero has already signed on for not one, not two, not three, but 4 more movies. So Warner Brothers looks like they're going all in for a Mortal Kombat shared universe, or at least a big franchise.
I mean, was that guy doing anything before this, though, of note?
He was probably like teaching kids how to do martial arts. I would imagine if he's a real martial artist, they probably just went with a real actor. I mean, had I seen it, I would do more research so I could, review it more properly. But again, my question is to you, one Yahel Velasquez. Gonna keep saying your full name. Are you excited for the new Mortal Kombat and its future Mortal Kombat film? No, not at all.
I remember you and I, we talked about this, I think, when we had initially done like the first pilot of this, and neither of us were like real excited about it from what I remember, because it doesn't seem like it's fun. It seems like it takes itself very seriously. And I don't know. I don't think like the Mortal Kombat universe, despite it being like such a gritty, bloody game, I don't think it lends itself well in other media when it takes itself too seriously.
But Yahel, babalities and friendship fatalities are serious business. And a guy that goes like this, whoopee! I mean, that's serious stuff. That's Academy Award winning material.
I'm surprised they didn't have Scorsese direct this.
Yeah, or the ghost of Stanley Kubrick. Instead, I will tell you this fun fact. Instead, it's a guy who never even directed a feature. I don't know. He directed on IMDb. It says he directed a short film and nothing else. So
it doesn't say like what the short film was, or
it does. I just don't remember it off the top of my head. But I just want the world to know that the guy helming the new Mortal Kombat franchise has never directed a feature in his entire life. But I mean, apparently he must have done something right, or maybe it's just those nostalgia money. Just
that's crazy because that's like the last Star Trek TNG movie. The guy that directed that had never directed a movie before either. He was an editor, and he knew nothing about Star Trek. And I was like, what? How did this guy? How do these guys like end up doing this stuff?
I'll tell you why. It's because the studios, they don't want a seasoned vet who's going to stand up to them. They want to get like a first time sort of indie person that they can push around and be like, look, if you don't do what we tell you, you're never going to work in this town again. Like,
now, Steve, you would, just for the audience, Steve would know he has been in Hollywood
for the past 5 years,
dealing with the biz
and all the many homeless encampments that are around here. But
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm excited for it, for at least like just seeing martial arts on the big screen again, because like those martial arts movies that actually make it to the cinema, at least here in the US, are few and far between. And if they are there, then for the action sequences, I guess the new thing is to play. It's not even new anymore. It's been going on for like the past couple of years. They always play like pop songs and stuff behind the action sequences. I guess just to sort of lessen the whatever. I don't know why they do it, but it ends up feeling like a music video to me. I mean, at least they say they're gonna allegedly have the best fight scenes ever filmed, which is quite a boast, if you ask me.
Okay.
I doubt it's gonna be better than The Raid. We'll see about that.
From the trailers, I mean, they looked like pretty average fight scenes. Obviously the trailer's not the whole movie, but
they can't show the fatalities and babalities where
but you would think they would show like some of the better choreography,
you would
segments
think that.
in the trailer, but I'm sure people are like, why are these guys even talking about this if they didn't watch it? I will say, it seems like it's a very divisive movie. Like all I see on like social media feeds is people talking about how much they love it or how much they hate it. I haven't seen too many people go, it was okay or it was all right. It seems to be like people mad that it's not in the same vein as the 1995 Mortal Kombat movie. Or
how can you recreate that cheese fest?
Dude, that's what they should have done.
Well, see, you and I, we like cheese, but the movie-going public, at least in America, and probably China too, although I can't speak to them, everything has to be dark and gritty, like the Dark Knight, Batman, the Nolan series. Everything has to be so serious and explained. I mean, that's what people want, man. There's no room for, but of course, then on the other side of the coin, you have, the MCU, which like everything is a joke there, for the most part, except for, I guess, Infinity War and Endgame. But even then, everyone's like cracking jokes left and right. Like, I wish there was maybe like a better middle line. Like they had, in the action films of like the 80s and 90s, where it was like serious plot, but like fun dialogue, like Lethal Weapon or something like that. But
to be fair, like Lethal Weapon is like nonstop cracking jokes too. Like,
yeah, but the plot is serious, and by the end of the movie, like there's the possibility that, that Riggs might actually get beat by Gary Busey. Wherein, at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy, they have like a dance off and hold hands or some bullshit. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but it's, I think there's some context to it. Like, because the dancing was like a distraction.
It was just an excuse to end the movie with a dance off. Like, you can write it in.
Weren't they holding hands to help absorb the power of the... It wasn't like they were holding hands like Kumbaya Care Bear.
It basically was, though, man. Sure, they James Gunn wrote in reasons, but it was still a dance-off, no matter how you want to look at it. But anyway, that's enough. All right, I'm semi-excited for Mortal Kombat, cautiously optimistic. On to our next segment, which is known as...
Killing Time.
Killing Time is a segment where we talk about the other forms of media that we use to get this kill time, such as movies, TV, or dare I say, books, or some people actually read comics. Like I mean, I know I do. I know nobody else does, but that's okay. So Yahel, what have you been doing with your free time?
I've just been reading a lot of books. Just really, I haven't read any books, but been watching, as far as like entertainment. So I've been watching a lot of like older shows. Like now I understand like why growing up like there were TV stations that like ran reruns of shows from like the 70s and like the 60s, because that's like once you get to be older you just want to rewatch some stuff. But anyways, we've been like rewatching Star Trek Voyager. We're almost done with it. Much better than I remember. But I've also been just watching a lot of YouTube, which I personally watch YouTube way more than TV these days. And I've actually been watching a lot of the channel called Toy Galaxy.
Oh, I love Toy Galaxy.
Yeah, they're great. They cover like 80s cartoons and shows for those that have never seen it. And Comic Drake, which is a comic book channel.
Comic what?
Comic Drake.
What
Drake, like the Canadian singer.
He's Canadian? The guy who sings Hotline Bling? He's Canadian?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Do you think he and Snow are friends?
Maybe. I think he was also on Degrassi Junior High. We got to start. Come on, Steve. You gotta be hip like me.
And the Kids in the Hall. Is Drake even a thing anymore? Like no one ever even talks about him except for you. Look, just now.
He's recovering from knee surgery that he recently had, and
make him sound like an athlete. Like, was he in the ring? Did he like bump too hard?
I believe it was while he was preparing for a music video or some kind of performance, and hurt his knee, had to have surgery.
I heard about this. There was going to be a kick line in the music video, and he was actually going to join them. And when he kicked, he threw out his knee. Too bad. Poor Drake.
Yeah. Apparently the rumor is that he also got liposuction at the time. And
wait a minute. All right. So everything that you're telling me right now, I just picture like Drake got famous, and then he just started eating everything in sight. Just everything. He turned into the Kingpin from Daredevil, not the one from the show. And he was so fat that he broke his knee. So that's what happened, right? Like, this should have been in the news section. Yeah, this is obvious facts.
You know what's weird is everything I said though is legitimately true, and it's for whatever reason I ended up going down a Drake rabbit hole the other night. Like one little thing popped up, and I just kept clicking on stuff, and I'm like, why am I reading about Drake? I don't like you can name more songs of his than I can because you named one.
Well, the funny thing is, all right, for the most part, I pretty much despise pop music and the radio, but for whatever reason, I liked that song. I don't know. It just really spoke to me about things like hotlines and bling. Yeah.
Well, you are a PBR beer drinker, so if anybody knows about.
Look at all my my chains here, a la Mr. T.
Yeah. But anyways, Comic Drake. Yeah, good comic book channel for those who maybe are interested. Like, it's kind of got me back into comics. Is he would he never gives you. Well, I shouldn't say never, but sometimes he won't always give you the full story. He'll be like, but if you really want to know more about this, you need to pick up issues, blah 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 blah. So he's real good about kind of promoting people actually going out and picking up some issues or buying them digitally or whatever.
So are you actually reading comics at the moment?
Right now I'm not, but I've I'm currently not reading a comic regularly, but I went back and I read after watching one of his videos, the Court of Owls, Dark Knight's Metal. So I've been going and reading arcs basically, but I'm not reading a continuous issue.
That's cool. I mean, of course, I'm used to and love picking up comics like on a weekly basis, and it's still worth it for a few titles here and there. But I mean, hey, however you're digesting your comics, I mean, that's great. You should go back and read The Badger. Now there's a comic.
Anyway, Steve, so what have you been?
Oh, what? You don't want me to tell you about The Badger?
I mean, if that's what you want to tell me, you've been diving into.
Well, you know what? We're going to do a whole episode about The Badger in the future. But for now, what have I been doing? Let's see. I thought I had yeah. Never mind. You know what? I'm just gonna talk about it. So, like, but you and your girlfriend don't sit and watch stuff together?
We've been
Voyager. That's right. Yeah. Wow. So she likes Trek too, or you just force it on her?
I forced her. No. Like I would just like watch it like while she was like doing other stuff, and she ended up just kind of like getting curious about TNG, and then she ended up like
curious. Yes.
Yeah. And she ended up just like watching a few episodes, and I was like, well, if you're gonna watch it, we might as well go back and like watch, a little bit earlier back. So yeah, we went through all of TNG. Then I was like, well, we gotta watch DS9, which she didn't want to do. Then she ended up liking that one even better. She wasn't really like,
it's the best one.
She can't remember. I don't think she was like super enthused about starting Voyager, and I think at first she wasn't that crazy about it. But you know how all these Trek series, they always take them like a couple seasons to kind of get going. But she's really been enjoying it now, and yeah, we're almost done.
And then after that, what? You're just going to end the relationship?
After that, no, there's still a few more shows.
Right, no. Yeah, because you've got all the new. Do you watch the new stuff?
Yeah, we watched Discovery together. I mean, I hate Discovery, and she ended up she liked it at first, but then as the more we went on, the less she liked it. I think I like it less just because I've been watching Star Trek for like 30 years, so any little thing that like breaks canon or whatever, I'm obviously like more sensitive to it or whatever.
You start crying.
Yeah.
Well, that's how I feel about a show that I forced my wife to watch with me. And by forced, she just sort of sat on the couch with her phone. And in many ways, I wish I would have joined her. And I'm speaking about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which was pretty disappointing.
So you were excited for this, right?
Well, I hate to use the term cautiously optimistic, but like, all right, I feel like, the bar is set pretty low for stuff that I'm interested to watch. Like, much like yourself, I spent a lot of time watching old, like, action movies from the 80s and 90s on, like, Tubi and Amazon Prime. And also just, like, bizarre, like, shot on video stuff on Prime. Like, Prime will take anything. Like, if you like watching trash and, like, weird stuff that would never, ever see the light of day on Hollywood cinema, should check out Prime and Tubi. Like, they're great resources for that stuff. But when I'm with my beloved, we have to watch stuff that's a little bit higher quality. And so I thought, we'll watch the Falcon and Winter Soldier. And I am a big fan of Captain America, the comic, and it's an even bigger fan of the U.S. agent who is basically now known like the most hated Captain America of all time, like Wyatt Russell. Everyone goes, I hate him. Well, you're supposed to. Like, they wrote it that way. And it's weird because, of course, Chris Evans is gone, so they wrote the real Captain America out, which in the actual storyline in the comics, like, he was there and involved, and they had an awesome fight at the end, him and John Walker. But instead, we get the Winter Soldier and the Falcon, who, I don't know. I guess once John Walker shows up and then Zemo and then they go away, because they're pretty interesting characters, you kind of realize how bland the Falcon and the Winter Soldier are. And you just start to get kind of bored, and you're like, start looking at your watch and like, man, I'm waiting for somebody interesting to show up again. And also, they made the classic Marvel mistake or action movie trope, if you will, of having the most boring and forgettable villain that you ever could imagine. Like the villain in the comic is called Flag Smasher. It's just a jack dude with a ridiculous mask. So they took the mask and turn that one guy into many guys, like basically a terrorist group. And the leader is this boring British girl named Carly. And yeah, and then when I mean, I don't want to like ruin it for anyone, but basically I'll just say the series culminates in one of the most unsatisfying cinematic experience. I guess it's not cinematic, but one of the most unsatisfying story experiences I've had in a long time. And the worst part is that like I like called it from the beginning, and even though I knew it was coming, it still made me angry. Yeah, and it makes me less excited for the rest of like Marvel Phase 4 or whatever, though I'm holding out hope that Doctor Strange 2 will at least be good. But yeah, basically I was like, why do I even watch this crap? And I just want to let everyone know it wasn't just I, the nerd geek guy, who was disappointed. My wife was laughing at it the whole time, and she's
maybe she was just laughing at how mad you were. Maybe she's laughing at you. She's like,
well, I'd like to think she was laughing at my hilarious commentary, much like our chat room is right now. Wait, it doesn't seem to be working. Oh well. Well, yeah, she was just like, why is the Falcon wearing that suit? It looks stupid. And I'm like, yes, it does, but it's like comic book accurate and whatever. Like, it doesn't matter that I don't like it. They're still going to keep churning out stuff, and people are still going to keep going to see it. So
yeah, I will say, like unlike Mortal Kombat, where it's been very divisive, at least from what I've seen online. From what I've seen online, it's been mostly positives.
Well, yes, it's very easy to get caught up in a lot of the. I don't want this show to be political in any way, but Disney/Marvel, because a lot of people don't know that Disney owns Marvel, they do a lot of virtue signaling, and like basically they chose virtue signaling on writing a decent like script, and like if you want a virtue signal, that's fine, but at least give it a decent plot and like script below it. But that's enough about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's because like if you say anything negative about it, people are gonna say you're a racist, because like spoiler alerts, the Falcon ends up becoming Captain America at the end.
What? Well, I think everybody knew that was gonna.
Yeah, I mean,
happen, right? I think everybody knew that was gonna happen from the moment that Chris Evans was written out of Endgame.
Well, I mean, if they wanted to follow the comics, like technically Bucky would be next and then Sam, but that doesn't go with the times.
I don't think. I think it's more so that I feel that Bucky's character in the movies just wasn't as well developed as Falcon's was. So I think it would have.
I mean, I agree with you, but I think that neither of them are developed very well. They're both kind of flat and just kind of boring.
Neither of them are interesting. I agree wholeheartedly.
See, I want them to be like Riggs and Murtaugh, like cracking jokes, and I mean, and they do have a little bit of that, but not enough. And also, they get beat up a lot by like everyone. I'm like,
and the actors are like they're perfectly good, capable actors. It's just that they when you only have so much material to work with, or the quality of it is only so good, what are you gonna do? But like if I was like, okay, we have to have another Captain America, it's got to, your choices basically are Bucky or Falcon, and I'd be like, well, out of these two, it's got to be Falcon,
right?
And then I would have like just tried to like build a show or a movie around Bucky to maybe do something with him later.
Sure. Like, yeah, something like darker and interesting, which I mean is how he should be. But I mean, it's basically just Disney going middle of the road, trying their best not to offend anyone. And the only person who gets offended is me. I just want to see a well-written show. But anyway, wow, we talked about that for a lot. I've been playing this really fun game. I know you've got a Switch. Were you ever a fan of the arcade game Smash TV? You remember that game?
Oh, yeah. Let me guess. You've been playing Xenocrisis?
No, I do want to buy that, though. But this is like both of those games, only different. It's called freak out calamity TV show. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's really funny, and basically it's a twin stick shooter where you just kill guys. Like, it's not a game show like well, actually they sort of tease you. It does start out like a game show, like a Smash TV, but then you like break out of it and you're in some sort of, I don't know, political thing. But the people who talk to you are like really funny. And if you're into twin stick shooters, which that's like one of my favorite genres, I would highly recommend it, and I recommend it to you. Did you play Xenocrisis?
I played it, yes.
And it's good?
Yeah, it's good.
Well, put that review on your cover, Xenocrisis. That'll get the buys in.
Sorry. The carbonation in this alcoholic beverage is trying to suppress the burp as and try to answer your question. Yep, it's good. It's real good.
No. It's all good.
It's good. And I don't know what version of Xenocrisis you've played, but
none. I haven't played it at all.
Oh, okay. So I played the Genesis version.
Ooh, very cool.
Which is it's always cool whenever a new game is made for,
sure,
an older console.
The best console.
Well, it's not the CDI, but it's okay.
You and your CDI. Oh, that's what I wanted to. I wanted to ask you a question about your. Well, we'll get to that in the next segment. Just a few more quick things. Oh, I also got just very quick. Doom Eternal for the Switch.
Oh, Doom Eternal is great.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Although, I don't know, it's still not Duke Nukem to me, but I don't know. It's still good though. It's real good. Yeah, I like levity with my first-person shooters. And then I was gonna ask if you had seen or have any desire to see Godzilla versus Kong.
Nope, don't care.
Oh, you don't like monster movies?
They're okay. I mean, I don't know. It's just gonna be like a big CGI thing. And...
No, they got real giant apes and lizards and fought them against each other. So like,
if it was guys in rubber suits, I'd be more interested, I think. But
sure.
No, I mean, like I can't remember like a modern God, and I guess from modern, I'm counting from like the Matthew Broderick Ford.
Ooh,
Godzilla
no,
movie.
man, that never happened. That was a different universe.
I can't remember ever seeing like a good modern Godzilla movie. I don't trust them to make a good one. Same for Kong movies.
So wait, you didn't see Kong Skull Island?
No.
It's surprisingly good.
But is it surprisingly good in the sense that you expect it to be bad, so it's like okay, so it's like, oh, this is actually
no. I can't remember. I had like zero expectations going in, like one way or the other, and it really blew them away into the stratosphere.
Your zero expectations.
Wait, that's not selling it at all.
No, it's not. I had no expectations, and next thing I knew, they were gone too.
But I mean, all right. I'd be interested if you. I mean, I know you don't. Outside of Star Trek, you don't watch anything, but
that's not true. I'm about to finish Attack on Titan, season 4.
All right. Well, I don't watch that, so stop watching it immediately.
Well, you're supposed to be. You need to join us. What are they called? Weebs.
Are those
people like Americans that watch anime? Aren't they called like?
We didn't have that title back in the 90s when I started watching it. So,
Attack on Titan's pretty awesome. Well, the first 3 seasons at least were really awesome.
Mm-hmm. Well, I
haven't watched the 4th one yet, but
it's interesting that you mentioned anime, because I wanted to mention this fun fact back when we were talking about Mortal Kombat all those years ago. It is getting beaten by the Demon Slayer anime for the number 1 slot of movies being released this weekend. You know Demon Slayer?
No, but could that be because you can watch Mortal Kombat on HBO Max?
It's possible, but also from what I understand, I mean, I've never watched it myself, but Demon Slayer apparently is huge outside of the U.S. I mean, I guess there's probably people here who watch it, nerdy old otakus. I wouldn't know anything about them. See, that's the correct term. I don't know about weebos or whatever. That sounds like, isn't that something Nintendo used to make for like the for the Wii U, something like that. Anyway, yeah, like it's getting it's really popular. And it's beating them out for, I guess, the #1 international spot. Of course, that could have changed at this point. Anyway, like, I would be interested if you watched what your thoughts would be on Kong Skull Island. But, I mean, if you're not into, like, monster movies, then, I mean, just don't bother. You're probably not going to like it. I mean, I grew up watching them, and I'll give them a chance. Like, we had a good time watching the first Godzilla movie, not that Matthew Broderick crap. But the first one that had Bryan Cranston in it, we went and saw it at a drive-in. So that was, I don't know, sort of added to the experience. Anyway, I think that's enough for time killing. So killing time.
Well, you know, one thing though that you had on the notes was something about RoboCop Prime directives.
Oh, that was from the last time we were supposed to do this this show, but. That was, we can talk about that if you want. Like, it, they showed up on Amazon Prime, pun not intended. Do you know what RoboCop Prime Directives was?
No.
It was a series of like TV movies made in Canada, of all places. I think they came after the series, and like if you're a fan of Cheese and RoboCop, you will love them.
Vaguely, you know what? Like, I don't remember the name, but I do remember that the local channel that aired the syndicated RoboCop series, they started airing these like RoboCop like made-for-TV movies a little bit after, and I bet that's what they were. The commercials did not look great.
Nah, man, it's surprisingly good. The writing kind of makes up for their lack of budget. And plus, I mean, if you're a fan of RoboCop, which I am, I mean, you have to watch it. You have to. Give the first one a shot on Prime. Like I love, like, one of the cool. They sort of expand upon what was done like after the first. There's no Ed 209, unfortunately, because they can't afford one. But they do, like, I guess apparently. Murphy had a partner that they never really like before Lewis, this black guy, and basically he ends up getting turned into a RoboCop as well. So there's 2 RoboCops in RoboCop Prime Directive, but he's different than regular RoboCop. He's more hardcore and gritty.
See.
And there's also a lot of like the villains that they do have. They have this guy, his name is it's not Bone Storm. It's like Bone something. And there's a part where he's got these massive Gatling guns on his hands. And he like shoots one of the cops and he goes, "You just got boned, baby."
Oh my god. All right, I might have to change that. This sounds worse than I thought it would be as a kid, but see, like in a good way.
It's worse and better. It's like better than the series, I'd say. Although I do plan on rewatching the series at some point. I had no idea you were a RoboCop fan. We should have an entire episode devoted to that, which, speaking of entire episodes, it's now time for our feature presentation.
Welcome to your feature presentation.
Why don't you tell everyone what we are about to watch?
I didn't realize we were watching the whole thing, but I'm okay with that. So yeah, this is absolutely Rose Street. It was an infomercial made by Sega for really to promote the 32X. This was in the 90s. It aired pretty late at night, but it aired like every week from like December. Maybe remembering some of this wrong, but it was from like December of 93 or 94. I think it would have had to be 94 into like January of the next year, like on MTV, Comedy Central. And yeah, Sega wanted it to look like a regular TV show, was the whole idea. So like it wouldn't seem like an infomercial, and they even have like commercial breaks during it. Although the commercial breaks are for like Sega commercials. But and it actually for a moment almost got picked up as a real TV show.
Oh my God.
But this was covered in Billboard magazine.
Wow.
Which like it was an infomercial getting covered in Billboard magazine, and a couple other like trade publications. And yeah, there's a guy in there from Laverne and Shirley.
All right, not too many facts because you're going to be saying those facts while we watch it. Okay, so let's go to the theater.
The following is a paid advertisement by Sega of America. But it was supposed to be
I'm gonna tweet that we're watching this right now, actually.
Styling with Stella. Certain people around here aren't playing fair. Okay, I can deal with that. We need to be small about this. So
this actress was in an episode of Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Come up, call me, and I'll tell you what to do. But pay attention,
she just plays like a random character on the holodeck in
in
an episode of like James Bond-esque episode. So, yeah, Max. Well, I'll wait for this song to play. It's probably hard to hear us right now. Oh yeah, I can see that. So this is one of those commercials where they got the Windows XP. Yeah. So this was aired as part of the infomercial.
The other day, I had the weirdest dream. Everyone was after me, and they all had.
Again, Sega wanted this to seem like a TV show.
And then I felt.
And like all of the other ads, like the one that's playing right now, they're like ads from Sega. So you know, it was like
everything was so real. I saw words. Then this 32X thing plugged in,
like
and
we'll
things
have
got even more intense.
Ad for a environmental thing, makes us look good, and it also makes it look more like a TV show.
Stay tuned next week when we review Nintendo.
You want me to produce that?
Yes. Tom Kalinske.
It stinks. It's video crap.
I want you to fix it up. I've got a sponsor who's breathing down
And
my
there's the guy
neck
from
for a
Laverne
show
and
for
Shirley
just that
sitting.
demographic.
Look, it's a waste of time. These kids play video games all
I can't remember
day
his
long.
character's name on here, but yeah, this guy pacing around.
Deep down.
He's been in a bunch of stuff
Deep
too.
down,
Like,
probably
he's had a pretty long
Knock it
career.
off, Joe. We've got no show for this slot.
Look, I got just a show for you. This is up. It's hopeful. It's a show that helps people improve their self-image. It could be big, boss. This could be huge.
I can't afford to lose this sponsor. You whip this show into shape right away. You get to those kids, you tell them to get it together or else. And remember, an unhappy sponsor means an unhappy station manager, which means...
An unhappy producer. All right, already. I'll do it. I'll do it. Trust me. So where do these young people live?
Oh, that would have been a good choice.
Hello? Hello? Why me? Hello?
Hey, who are you?
Joe Whitehead, your new producer. I'm here to talk
So
to you
this
guys
is one of
about your
those.
show, Game Beat.
What are you talking
This is so
about?
ridiculous.
We produced the show ourselves.
Jim, sorry, Mr. Whitehead.
But this follows like one of those tropes, especially
What
big
do
in
you
the
wanna
90s,
talk
where
about?
they live in a
there's so
giant,
much to say and so
multi-million
little
dollar
time,
like
and I'm here to
apartment
help you.
slash loft
So
slash
here's the
warehouse kind of a thing. But they're about to talk about how they don't have any money.
Who asked you? Hey, look, I'm going to give you punks the bottom line. Either get your show in gear, or we're going to replace you with more responsible programming. You got that?
On the station, I brought a senior citizen tag team wrestling.
Max. No, you said help. So what'd you have in mind?
Yeah, I can use some new cameras.
Yeah, and how about some new deals for prototypes and games to review?
And travel so we can get out and talk to some people. What about a new budget?
I think this is included on Twitch.
Cut, huh? What are we talking about here, huh? Video games, huh? The bing, the bong, he's up, he's down, he's in, he's out. I'm not throwing my money into the black hole here. How you gonna make that interesting, huh? You can't. You gotta produce the show with what you got.
We've got
You
nothing.
missed Max
He's a
making
smart
the
kid.
joke about
Hey, you're
the
real bright.
station that
You must
bought the
play video
senior
games, huh?
citizen
All right, look.
tag team
I'm gonna
wrestling.
come back next week and you give me something. Something that human beings could actually watch on tape. All right? And if not, we're gonna yank your show. And you wouldn't want to lose all of this now, would you?
No. I mean, just on Twitch I can. Not this guy.
So now that the missing links canceled our show, what are we gonna do about it?
You think you'll pull the
So yeah, I
plug
don't
on
think
us
they
just
ever
like that?
say it's
I mean, we're not
California,
that
but
bad.
it's
No,
definitely
we don't give him something new, he will.
Yo, that can't happen.
Guess I can get my old job back at Radio Shack.
Yeah, I can just hear my father now.
I told you so. You should have gone to school.
Whatever. I guess he was right.
So just like that, Max.
This guy's a way better actor. Actually, this guy went on to like be on I remember right on All That.
So what are we gonna do?
Nickelodeon, and then he went on to like.
Oh, it's not over. Don't give up that easy.
All That. I'm trying to remember his name.
I just need a minute to think.
Ding! Time's up. What's the answer?
What's the biggest story in gaming right now?
Yeah, I used to love
I
that.
ask for an answer. She gives me a question.
Yeah, All That sucks.
Why is everything Doom with you?
Why this guy?
Jerk. No kidding. Of course I
Oh wait,
play
the
Doom.
best part's about to
Everybody's
come
heard
up.
of Doom. It's not news.
All right, but this is. Doom is coming to video games.
No. Really? Of course, I've heard.
All right, so you know about it. But I've been reading and hearing about it in bits
Doom
and pieces.
is coming to video
32X,
games.
the Thingo adapter for Genesis.
Right, it's like a turbocharger. I heard that it makes
What
the
a
Genesis
weird
go
way
40
to
times
say
faster.
it, right?
Get out of here. That's hype.
So I guess like
All I
Sega was trying to
know
make a
is that it's
distinction.
new and not many people
Video
have seen what it can do.
games, you play on a console.
Including yours too.
Well, I think, Max, that we should find out all we can about this thing.
Let's talk about his tattoo. It's just a rectangle. And he keeps rolling his sleeve up so we can
Sorry,
see.
Cody. All right, I guess it worked. All right, fellas. Ready? Yeah. All right, world. Here we go.
When they interview these kids on the streets, it's pretty funny too. Oh, I thought that's really cool. It's my favorite part of this when they're like ask these kids about the 32 eggs on the street, and they're like, "Oh, here we go." The kids are like, "Oh," the kids present like real concerns that consumers would have, and he has like no answer. I'm like, what?
What's the hottest thing right now?
32X.
What have you heard about the 32X adapter? The 32-bit, better graphics,
Here we go.
really good sound. It's more arcade games, more realistic games.
I'm wondering, will Sega or Genesis die out?
Yeah, I'm worried that they might make the Genesis games obsolete.
I just wonder if they're going to carry on the line.
We are interested in finding out about the new games you're working on.
Yeah, he's like, maybe.
See?
Oh, what a great infomercial.
Game Beat. Thank you for emailing Sega. Your message is being forwarded. I'm being blown off by a computer. Mr. Granger, would you consider being interviewed on our show? We are interested in finding out about the new games you are working on.
Yeah,
I
she's wearing
cannot
the
find
typical
Who are
pajama
you? Where are you?
thing that like people
Wherefore
wear
art
on
thou,
TV shows.
Romeo, Juliet, Savage, Game Beat.
Yep. This is a pretty great scene here too.
Wow. I hope he has a sense of humor.
Like, what are we supposed to think happened? Like, she sent an email and suddenly she has like a cable bandwidth connection to get all this video. I don't know, real weird.
Don't be a dummy. Buckle your safety belt.
Yeah, they had toys and everything.
Whoa. Color. Hey, there's an easier way to get color. Get a Game Gear, the full color portable with over 150 games, like the new Echo, Mortal 2, and Sonic Triple Trouble.
He's lean, shape, brushed his hair. Oh yeah, so this vote thing. You could call in to vote.
Hi, I'm Brad.
Number to like
Juliet.
decide whose show you want to see.
Christina Savage.
Be on the
email
air,
girl.
Stella's show or
Look,
Game.
I don't know how you got in, but you saw some stuff that you weren't supposed to see. And
This was actually This
And you
infomercial
are?
was advertised in Sega Vision's magazine, by the
You
way.
did Tomcat Alley.
Full page ad.
Oh, we love that game. It's so cool. Really, we play it all the time.
Thank you.
So, can you talk about any new games you've got coming up?
Well, this is Midnight Raiders, which is a great game.
Play it all
Lots
the
of
time.
helicopters.
It does
and
not have
pyro
replay
and
value. You don't play it all
some really cool
That's
stuff.
great. Max will love that. Now, how does the 32X affect live-action CD games?
Well, the 32X is great. It makes it more like film. It's got better graphics, better sound.
Great. Better graphics. Makes it faster, doesn't it?
32X is great. Makes it more like film, Steve.
I better get that.
Oh, it's great meeting you.
Nice meeting
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Would you come into my office, please?
You know,
So,
I
Brad,
hear
the buzz is that you're
that
producing new
there's going to be a
games
sequel
for
to
the
Gangs of New
32X
York
that
shot
will
on
blow people's
32X.
minds. What are you working on?
Look, I've got nothing to say to you.
What man art thou thus be screened in night, so stumblest on my counsel?
Well, by a name I know not how
I
to
was
tell
trying to
thee
think
who
of,
I
wasn't
am.
that a Scorsese
So you
movie
like
or
Shakespeare
something?
too?
Only a
But-
literary jerk would use the bard for trigger words.
Oh,
I'm such
touche.
an idiot, Steve.
You should know what I'm working on. I mean, you've got the production schedule right in front of you.
Well, yes, I do.
Anyway,
And that would
point
be
is,
Surgical
Hollywood's
Strike,
moving away
Wirehead, and
from
Fahrenheit,
digital
Sega
and even
CD,
film.
Virtua Racing
They're
Deluxe,
shooting on
Eternal
32X.
Champions, and of course, Doom for the 32X, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Look, Brad, here's the deal. Everyone's read about them, but I've got a show to do. I can't talk about them. I've got to show them. I've got to play them. I've got to review them. Everyone wants to know, will the 32X software deliver on all the hype? Will the 32X make Genesis and Sega CD systems obsolete?
No, quite the contrary.
Hey, building up to multiple word answers here.
All right, look. Maybe I can show you a couple of things.
That'd be great.
How would it be contrary? Like, if the 30...
We're here with the giant in video games, a king among gamers, one of the twisted, really sick game level designers of.
But you know, she's at least like being a pretty good... Oh, this scene with American McGee.
Now, American, the first question I'd like to ask you is
man.
probably,
Video game designer,
how well
worked
is
on
Doom
Doom.
going to convert from the PC
This is hilarious. His
to the
face.
32X?
Converting Doom from the PC to 32X was a really smooth transition. The game remained pretty much the same. All the key elements are still in there.
But the graphics, are they going to be there?
Graphics are there, the speed's there, everything's there.
You think of these games, what are your dreams?
You don't want to know.
There you have it, folks. You just don't want to know.
Now there you have our trusty Genesis system.
Like, American
And
McGee's
here,
so
my
embarrassed
brother
to be
game
there.
freaks, I give you the future.
Yeah, his real name is American McGee.
Wait, where'd you
I
get it from?
tweeted him like a couple years ago about this. And,
Your friend gave you an EEPROM?
you know, asking
What's
him
an
like,
EEPROM?
hey, how come
That
you
is
got
the
roped
guts
into
of a
doing
game
this?
cartridge.
And blah, blah, blah. It seemed like he didn't want to be there. He just replied, I didn't.
Fasten your seatbelts, boys. Virtua Racing Deluxe.
Man, it's as good as the arcade.
But my guess is like he was probably like one of the lower guys on the staff at that point that worked on it. And younger too, so. But you can tell his face.
We got our show! We're gonna blow it away!
I'm not sure.
Is this the best you can do? I'm not impressed. I gotta be honest with you, this whole game thing doesn't work for me.
Yeah.
It's a phase, like the hula hoops.
Man, you don't know what you're talking about.
Max!
Hey, I know what I know. And what I know is,
You
I
better
gave
off
you
just
kids a shot, and you blew
It's
it.
not worth
And maybe
it.
you should consider a
They're
different
pretty
line of
expensive now,
work.
too.
Trust me, it's for the better. And years from now, you'll thank me.
I can't believe this. I can't believe this. You were never serious about putting us on the air, were you?
Hey, look, whether you like it or not, that's the way it is, huh? Welcome to the real world.
Well, I feel the least Whitehead deserves is a slow.
Oh, this is great when they talk about these veiled threats.
Show sucked anyways. Why are we trying to fool ourselves?
Where are you going?
Oh, wherever one goes and one quits.
You're acting like a baby, Max.
Yeah, well, maybe I am. But I've lost a show. I've lost you to some guy who knows Shakespeare. I don't have much going for me right now, so excuse me if I'm a little pissed off. It's been fun.
Ego. Ego's the devil, man.
So unfair. It's not about fair.
Hard-hitting stuff.
It's about winning.
Phew, pungent smell of testosterone in this room. Do you want to get back at Whitehead?
Yeah. Just hurt him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do the show.
Do the show?
Yeah, well, we need permission. We're ready to shoot. Everything's in place.
Produce the show? It's gonna take a lot of energy. How are we gonna get it on the air?
Well, I'll handle that.
Yeah, kind of real meta.
Look, sorry for being a jerk.
Well, you are being a jerk. You gotta quit thinking only about
I
yourself,
wonder what
Max.
the budget for this was.
Gets in your way. Always has ever since I've known you.
It's not easy.
I know, but if you take no for an answer, you'll lose everything you really love. The show.
I was saying, in case you're curious, the
Besides,
Absolutely Rose Street
revenge is a dish
trademark
best
is
served
available.
cold.
My friend and I, Historic Nerd, we got drunk one night and looked into it and almost made a stupid drunk purchase. We were just like thinking, like, oh, we should just do like a real like Game Beat type show with this like IP.
Your show. I killed Game Beat.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, soberer heads prevail.
Don't worry about him. I can handle him. Look, we'll surprise him. Trust me. In the end, he'll thank us.
Oh, Joey!
I can see it already.
Absolutely
Styling
no
with
street.
Stella. Huh?
This lady that plays Stella, she is awesome. Like, you know, at the end, or maybe even now, is when it happens. But we see like her show, Styling with Stella, and it's pretty fun.
Hey man, what you need?
What do I need? What do I need? I need to graduate. I need a job when I grow up. I need a future. I need to laugh. I need to have fun. I need to be a kid. I need to be healthy. I need a chance. I need peace. I need friends who care about me. Most of all, what I
remember
need
this one
is
as a
you
kid,
to get
too.
lost.
The next time a pusher asks you what you need, let him know.
Nah, man. If I was this drunk, I really think this kid's a tune. So I don't want him to get
And
addicted to
ladies,
something, and then he needs to see me all the
Power
time.
hair in the office. Check it out. Next on my
Oh, here
new
we go.
show, Styling with Stella.
For those who purchased something other than a Sega Genesis,
Yeah, that's it.
our sincere condolences.
What a waste.
When you start with a Genesis, you can always add a Sega CD and new Genesis 32X. Everything else is cold and stiff.
Burial or cremation?
It's okay.
Welcome to the next level.
All right, look, guys, we got one more take, all right? Give me a lot of energy, a lot of enthusiasm, all right? Let's do it, baby. Ready? Ready? Action!
Hi again, everyone. I'm Christina Savage.
And this is Crazy Max Jackson coming at you from Absolutely.
Yeah, it's hard to like figure out like what am I.
How do you like
It's
your new
one of those games where you're
Have you
constantly,
ever
what am I
noticed
supposed
we're
to do
having a
now?
party here because this is a special show. We'll be talking about the future.
And what kind of future will it be? There's a hardware revolution brewing an interactive
I'm sorry. Why?
entertainment
I'm like,
systems.
even though I've
Lots
seen this
of
a
new
million
machines in
times, I'm like engrossed
Now,
by
some of them will be
Absolutely Rose Street.
cool,
What were you
and
saying?
some of them will suck. But most of them won't come cheap.
Mucho dinero here, kids.
And lots of promises.
And in the middle of all this marketing cha-cha, Sega pops on the scene with the new Genesis 32X.
Yeah, and what's the deal with the 32X? Is it going to deliver a whole new level of gaming or a whole new level
Marketing
of hype?
cha-cha.
Yes, we all know that Sega is the king of 16-bit, but is the 16-bit dead? Will 32X just conquer it? Has Sega shot itself in the foot? Boom.
We'll see.
I think so.
Max, show us how it works.
Well, it's quite simple, Christina. See, the 32X is a no-brainer. You just plug into
You
the
think he
Genesis.
ad-libbed that get out
like
of my
so,
face line?
And for $160, you're on to
I
a
feel- I
whole
feel-
new level of gaming. But wait, check this out.
I feel like that was definitely
two games in one. You can still use your Genesis games. Voila.
But the proof of the hardware is in the software.
No.
Are there
He
gonna be enough
definitely
cool
ad-libbed
games to
that,
make the
and he
32X
definitely
worth
ad-libbed
the
putting the
price?
black tape
And
on his
they're very
fingers.
much alive and still kicking butt. Genesis. But enough talk. Let's get gaming. We're reporting gaming experiences very close to arcade level for the home.
I think these are Sony Trinity
Smoother
ones,
graphics,
right?
faster gameplay, and more fun. We're giving the 32X 2 fists up. But since I know you gamers out there are born disbelievers, believe it. Star Wars, the ultimate space shooter, comes home with a brand new title. Star Wars.
How many times have you given a product
And for all you
fists
Doomers out
up,
there, now
Steve?
you can play Doom on the 32X. And hey, it's as fast as a 486. Now, if you've been asleep for the last year, Doom's gonna put
Last
you
time they
in
came to fix the
interstellar
AC in my
hell.
house, I left them a Google review. 2 fists up.
What's the deal with your Sega CD? Well, the
And then, of
32X
course,
is like a double
2
espresso
fist
for it.
emojis.
Oh, yeah?
There's gonna be killer live action games like last year's big hit Tom Got Out. Now, we don't have game screens to show you, but we've got footage just shot from games in development. We're not supposed to tell you about this, so shh.
You don't want to cover up that hair, baby.
Brad, sorry, doing a show here.
Roll tape.
Roll it!
Now, in Midnight Raiders, your mission is to rescue a kidnapped scientist who holds a formula of a deadly new nerve gas in his head. But the trick is, the CIA, they don't want any survivors on this mission, and that includes you.
You, mister!
Yeah.
Better watch out.
Wirehead is a great game because it's crazy, kind of like myself. It's about this guy that you control named Ned Hubbard, who was a normal guy until he was hit in the head with a brick. Come this way. So now, doctors have implanted this remote control computer in his brain, and now government agents are after him. So it's up to you to save Ned Hubbard. Wirehead, definite winner. Check it out.
This guy that's playing the game is like
Fahrenheit,
so...
you're assigned to a fire company as a rescue specialist. Your job? Save people's lives and avoid becoming a crispy critter in the process. Oh, Max,
Yeah, you can
what
tell
are
that
video games coming
Sega
to?
was still
Now we're
really big
saving
on the
people
whole
instead of killing
F&B
them?
thing.
Now, we started the show with a question. Is 16-bit dead?
Dum, da, dum, dum.
Does the 32X kill it?
It's alive! You can't kill this thing!
Yeah, but in 95, you'll see Sega keeps breaking new ground in 16-bit gaming action.
And for your Sega sports fans, NFL 95, delivering choices that takes you out of the stands and onto the field. Perspective never seen in 16-bit gaming. After this ball is snapped, you get above the field to see your secondary. Choices? You can become the receiver and call for a pass. Want to reunite Rice and Montana? Trade Rice to Kansas City. Make your own fantasy team. It's that easy.
And in the new game, Sonic and Knuckles, Sega introduces Knuckles. Knuckles isn't a echidna. What? It's a real animal, look it up. What's cool about this game is a little surprise. You can plug it in other Sonic games and it's amazing! Knuckles becomes a character in previous games, bringing new moves and totally changing the gameplay. When you lock on Sonic 3 to Sonic and Knuckles, there's a hidden game. The floating island level becomes a huge 34 meg epic.
That's not gonna be good.
And in the new Sega CD, Eternal Champion, these
They're
moves are
definitely gonna
extreme,
encourage
and it has the
him
most
to
intense
act.
kill scene in any game. Disgusting, Max.
They're gonna keep
Eternal Champions on
This is good.
CDs
This is
for
real.
mature audiences only.
Guess you won't be playing with them. And the games will keep on coming.
And we'll keep coming back with more reviews and more game news. And that's a wrap for this week.
And we'll see you again on
Gaming! It's a wrap, baby. It's great.
Did you get it? Did you get Stella's
Got it
tape?
right here.
Oh, yeah.
Right, go to work.
Yeah.
Hey.
So
You did good.
that's so weird. Like, so the guy that's filming them is just filming them with like a regular VHS camcorder.
Hey guys, what up? Congratulations. I think it's going to be a big success.
Well, with your help.
Yeah, it's just real weird because like everything else, they have like, TVs are very expensive in the 90s. There's about 70 of them here.
I can't believe I'm doing this.
Piece of cake. You've been on interviews before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
also they live in like a multi-million-dollar
Two doors
loft
down
of
from the lobby
some
on the
sort.
left. Just put
Right.
it on his desk.
Well, just like that? What if somebody stops me?
Improvise.
Improvise. Great. Improvise.
Hey. You look great in a uniform.
Right? Somebody was like, I'm gonna use this to get a job directing Mortal Kombat one day. And you know what's funny? Like she tells him like, hey, if you run into an issue, or he's like, what do I do for him to improvise? So you think he's gonna run into a problem, right? No.
Look at you.
Smooth.
You look good. You look real good. You look great, sweetheart. You look really good.
Joey!
What the hell?
Is it going to deliver a whole new level of gaming or a whole new level?
My show!
Wrong show, wrong tape. What the hell's going on down there? No. Can't
She's
be.
off.
Can't be. Hey, I don't care if it's labeled. I'm coming down. Jeez. Look, I can explain everything.
Great show, Joe. Oh, the sponsors loved it. We've been getting calls all day. I don't know how you do it. You must have a way with kids. Yeah, that's it. Oh my God, what a great show. I think we've got a hit on our hands. I want you
The
to
ad
produce
council loved
26
it.
more. Here, have a cigar. By the way, the sponsors loved the joke about the bimbo. What a stroke of genius. Leave her in. Would you?
So, gang, what's our next Game Beat show going to be about?
So,
Well, I think
you know
we
what's
ought to do
so
a
weird
piece
is
on
that
virtual reality
they don't mention anything about the
theme
ratings for this. They're just like the sponsors loved it. How many people watch it? Nobody watched it. The sponsors loved it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Joey, baby. Yeah, Max here. Yeah, we're thinking about taking the show on the road. Taking the show on the road. Japan. Yeah, big, long limo. Yeah, first class tickets. Oh, and give Stella my love. Ciao. Yeah.
Let's eat!
Sounds good to me.
Ciao.
I just want to thank you for helping out the show and everything. Yeah, I had fun. I hope we can do it again. Yeah, me too. Hey guys, wait up!
Beautiful.
Honey, you'd be
Beachfront
great at it.
property.
If you cut your nails, you can play video games.
Steve, how come in our years of hanging out, we never shook forearms like you?
That's a good question. I'm gonna look into it.
Yes, I think you did the right thing. Thank you for your vote. Game beat? Wrong vote, bub.
Yeah, real weird way to sell the 32X.
What on earth have you been working on? It's time for Project Report.
All right. Wow, that was something else.
Yeah, it's both like in some ways better and worse than you'd expect. I feel like like there's obviously put some money into it, but just weird script, weird choices. But then again, like how do you just think about it? Somebody like tells you, okay, you're a writer. I want you to write me an infomercial to sell the 32X, but please make it like a regular TV show about, young 20-somethings.
Yeah. I mean, I'll give it to Sega for trying to do something different. I mean, and they had to, of course, to try to catch up with Nintendo. So, yeah, I mean, I didn't find that thing.
I don't even remember how I came across the article, but first I came across an article on a website called Video Game FM Era, and they have like a lot of like obscure stuff like from press kits from like EA and CES and stuff. And for whatever reason, they had this. And then I found the video, and then I just started researching it, and that's when I was like, "What? This was covered in Billboard magazine," and like I think the New York Times ran like an article about it. It's when else I did my video on it, so I don't remember exactly, but yeah, it got like some attention.
Nice, yeah, for sure. It's definitely
it didn't get anybody to buy the 32X, but
yeah, it's so weird that whole how Sega of America and Sega Japan like butted heads over the 32X, and then eventually the Dreamcast, and then eventually what sent them to oblivion, more or less. Anyway, all right. Well, that was awesome. We've got one last segment, and then we are done with the very first episode of Obscurity Now. And that segment is called Project Report, where basically Yahel and I just talk about the stuff that we've been working on. So tell us about how's the new video coming along. I really enjoyed the old one, or the previous one. Yeah. Where did you even get that CDI shirt? Or was it?
Etsy.
It was
Etsy.
Etsy. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you. I've been working on a video about the kind of the making of Super Mario Kart. Not really going to go too much into the technical aspects of it. A lot of it's about how like Nintendo kind of failed into Super Mario Kart. Like a lot of like what became Super Mario Kart, they just were like, the Super Nintendo has this limitation, so let's do this thing. And it all just kind of worked out. So I've been working on the editing for that and made a bunch of 3D models for it. So yeah, just been doing the 3D animation and editing for it.
Very cool. Yeah, and I'm sure that's been keeping you busy. Like, been working on a few things. Been helping my friend Tim with his YouTube channel, shooting it and editing it for him. Tim is a vintage toy guy. So if you love retro toys, he orders all these boxes. They show up and he lets them accumulate and then unboxes them without knowing what's in them most of the time, like in front of the camera. And he's gotten some pretty great stuff, all the way from like Masters of the Universe, Dino Riders, the Centurions,
wow.
G.I. Joe. I don't think he collects Transformers, but yeah,
the Centurions are the ones with like the hologram, right? Like in the middle or something?
No, I forgot.
Oh, that's Visionaries.
Yeah, Centurions are the guys who they've got like these suits that have holes all over them, so you can put like weapons all over them. And one of them is a sea guy, one's an air guy, and one's like the land guy. But yeah, like he's also pretty funny. The name of his channel is Tim's Toy Vids and Comedy, but there'll be a link in the description if you want to check it out. Also, of course, I've still dealing with my artists. I'm developing my comic book, but it's in the early stages, so there's really not much to report there. And of course, if you like audio dramas, you're welcome to go check out 10 episodes of Ray Can't Sleep, which is the audio drama that I completed. Gosh, how long has it been now? But
like a year, maybe more.
A year already?
I don't know. I was in Washington.
It does feel like it, though.
You released it, so I was like, yeah, it's a year ago.
It was during the pandemic when I finished.
Maybe like 8 months.
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, so it would be great if you went by and listened to that. But yeah, so I think that's everything. Is there anything else you wanted to say before we call it on the maiden voyage of Obscurity Now?
No, I'm good. I would recommend anybody who wants to watch Absolutely Rose Street without people talking over it, like we just did. It is on YouTube. Just search for Absolutely Rose Street, and it should come up.
Awesome. And I will say, if you actually listened or watched this entire episode, it will get smoother. It's a work in progress. But thanks for listening or watching, and we'll see you next time on Obscurity Now. You've been enjoying Obscurity Now, a podcast that's recorded live to tape and broadcast to Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube. Take us with you by following the download links provided in the show notes. And take notice of our various social media links, if that's what you're into. I'm not here to judge. And make sure you join us live next week at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific as we continue to discuss more obscure media only on Obscurity Now.